So I couldn't be bothered to open up the old podcast that I've watched, but for the past few days, I've been a little bit not obsessed, but interested in psychology. And I don't think I'm allowed to show this, but let's just say that there's like um transcripts, notes before the lectures. It's paid, so I can't really show. But I'm gonna try to teach what I've learned from these few sources, like the Jordan Peterson's podcast and yep, this first video. So I didn't really watch the first video, but I've read the transcript. Good enough, I suppose. And the main point of all these so like uh pieces of information is I feel like it's trying to convey something. And let me just map it out because of course why not? And the big core thing that these sources are talking about is personality and how it affects a lot of things. And you must be wondering why on earth is personality important? And to that, they even like give a reason or two. But regardless, I'm not using that because your reason of importance may be different from what is in the source. Like it could be similar. Like you could learn personality, you could learn personality stuff like the Big Five, the Dark Tetrad, which we'll be talking about later. If you want to deal with people, which I presume is the case for most people, but for me personally, it's more of shit. I don't feel like saying it. It's more of I just want to interact with girls and not like fuck up my relationships again. That's all. I'm a simple minded guy, so sue me if you want. I don't give a shit. Either way, so the question comes is like why is personality important? Because if I ask an importance question, it directs my brain to like if I ask you like what do you have for dinner yesterday, your brain will be thinking in a completely different way compared to if I ask what's your name, right? So by asking the question, it's supposed to narrow down like your brain and like focus it on the specific thing. Like it's like a magnifying glass, and then it's the sunlight shit. I don't know how to describe it, but like you want to direct all of the energy into like one little spot and then it sets a fire. But if you just like start just swinging around this magnifying glass, putting it here, putting it here, putting it here, there'll be no fire. So by asking a specific question, you are sort of directing all your brain power into thinking about that question instead of like just uh, swapping your attention. And this also brings me to the productivity point where a lot of people are talking about essentialism. I didn't even know that was the thing until I saw it. So usually people spend a little bit of time on a lot of different things. So it seems to me that you would lose focus and also only achieve like let's say 1 unit of progress in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different things. But let's say if you like have 7 units of energy here, but you decided to just dump it in like two things, I guess, like 4 units, 3 units. Like the progress you make is so much more. So that's why they say focus on one thing, and it might not apply to the questions, like to focus your energy on or brain power on one avenue, but I feel like it's a bit similar. And yep, that's it. So 5 minutes on the board and we have one word here. That's great, that's great, good progress. So from what I've like watched 12 minutes, yeah, it seems to me that there's this oops there's this idea of having a certain type of personality, and then with the influence of your environment, you get a certain set of beliefs, and with that set of beliefs, you sort of result in the different types of emotion. I suppose I feel like this is a good representation. I might remove this, but I feel that this environment does affect emotions directly, even even without indirectly through beliefs. And to clean this a bit up, yep. And as a result of your beliefs and emotions, it sort of dictates your actions. And he mentions status, but I will put it as identity. So it sort of reinforces everything. You have like good beliefs about yourself, you feel good, and therefore you do the good actions, which gives a positive feedback loop to give you like a positive identity. And if your identity is of someone that's good, I don't know, maybe you don't call yourself a gamer, it's like I don't game, and then your actions is you don't game, and then your belief is I'm not a gamer, and your emotion is happy because you're no longer talking to brain dead teammates, cough, and then it reinforces everything. So honestly, I'm tempted to just represent it like this. No, that doesn't make sense. You know what? Just keep it this way first. And the main point from like one or two of the podcasts was talking about, I forgot who was it. It was some doctor, and him and Jordan Peterson were discussing about the Dark Tetrad traits and also the Big Five or Big Six actually, but whatever. I can name it off the top of my head, but like it doesn't really help much. So first one is like openness to experience. This one you can just skip across if you don't want to watch about this. Neuroticism, which is emotional stability, agreeableness. If my spelling's off, forgive me. Conscientiousness, extroversion, I suppose, or introversion. If you like have low extroversion, then you're introverted. But sure. Usually, you should follow the 2-4 rule, which is only put like 2 arrows off. But I didn't group it. You can group it based on like similarities, but I'm not gonna be bothered for now. And the Dark Tetrad, there's 4 of them. One is narcissism, one is psychopathy, sadism, and I'm just gonna make Machiavellianism. Forgive my spelling. So honestly, these two like different types of traits actually affect each other. Because I'm just gonna quote an example that Jordan Peterson mentioned in his podcast, which was that there was this good friend of his or colleague, whatever, that was very good at firing people. So that means I forgot which dark trait is that, but he enjoyed it. Like while oh wait no, I think it's agreeableness. But either way, it's like one of the traits here also or some shit because he finds joy in firing people. However, he was also very conscientious, so he was not a piece of shit at like just firing for the sake of it or some shit. So it's like I guess you could say ruthless is the word. And it's like a combination of this and I don't know, one of these can actually help the person. But if you only have these traits and none of like not the good ones, but like those that help you interact with society, you're kind of screwed. But if you have both, I feel like it helps. Like I do dream of having some a little bit of these traits, like not too much, just so that I don't know. Is it the bad boy look or some shit? I don't give a shit. I have no idea. But regardless, like these are like, I feel like these are like the foundation, and to build them off, you have a little bit of these to like sort of make yourself more not of a pushover or what is it called? The ability to be like a monster, but you don't fucking use it. That's the phrase. Something like that. An environment could be someone like it's not grouped at all, but it's like someone could be criticizing you. Like maybe you worked. The example given was maybe you worked for this company or this type of service for a certain service for a very long time, and someone like criticized your work for like let's say you learned something for 10 years and someone was criticizing your work and it's actually true, like what's that gonna do to your beliefs? I mean maybe if your personality if your personality is like what is it, open to experience, open to change or some shit, like maybe it wouldn't be so bad. But if you're like disagreeable, not open to people, and also like narcissistic, yeah, you kind of screwed. Your emotions are gonna take a hit, or maybe like actually anything can happen, and based on your type of personality and your beliefs, it will lead to the type of emotion. And like if you feel something, usually unless you're David Goggins or anywhere on the spectrum, which you shouldn't just listen to your emotions. Come on. But this is probably why I didn't put this link, because I feel that it's really not beneficial to anyone to just take action just because you feel that way. It's like fucking stupid. Like, oh, I feel pissed, so I want to punch someone in the face, or sit down on the couch and watch 3 movies and eat a whole bowl of ice cream. Yeah, that's gonna help. But it does play a part in actions force. So yeah. And yeah, not that much. I didn't learn that much. The other one was like on like talking about some doctor was discussing about like the harmful effects of birth control, which was interesting, but I have no idea how on earth does that fit into this map. Okay, I'm just gonna talk about it for a while. So essentially the TLDR is like it's bad, but like it depends on what you value, and also how old are you. Like apparently this type of pill, it it supposedly removes your the response to stress, which is horrifying. And it's not good because you need like people see these hormones like the stress hormones like cortisol as like harmful and shit, but like it's helpful because you need it to regulate the stress. Like stress is sort of the bad thing. It's not really bad, but like whatever in this case. And if you like remove that response because you alter the hormones, it's quite harmful. But once again, it depends on what you value, because it, like it's difficult to like have to bear a child if you like don't want a kid, which is horrible. Like, but I think it's like which of the lesser two evils will you choose? And also, if you are like damn young, it fucks up your once again the hormone levels, and it's like I think it affects growth or some shit. I forgot, but it's just really bad for like the lady's health. okay, that was very off track, and yep, that's all I've learned in past 2 days. That's really bad, but yep, adios.